Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders. But thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. The sun shall be no more thy light by day, neither for brightness shall the moon give light unto thee. But the Lord shall be unto thee an everlasting light, and thy God thy glory. Thy sun shall no more go down, neither shall thy moon withdraw itself. For the Lord shall be thine everlasting light, and the days of thy mourning shall be ended. Thy people also shall be all righteous. They shall inherit the land forever, the branch of my planting, the work of my hands, that I may be glorified. A little one shall become 1,000, and a small one a strong nation. I, the Lord, will hasten it in his time.
The ocean spirit dances today to abundance and joy and to eternal peace.
Jake about to live, man. Jake about to truly live forever. And how we gonna tap in? Through this wisdom, knowledge, and understanding, which is gonna lead us into eternal life. This wisdom is gonna bring us into the kingdom of heaven, which starts with the elect. In Lord's will, we are those men. This is the book of Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, and verse 17. And it reads, "For the very true beginning of her, and her represents wisdom. For the very true beginning of her is the desire of discipline, and the care of discipline is love. And love is the keeping of her laws, and the giving heed unto her laws is the assurance of incorruption. Therefore the desire of wisdom bringeth to a kingdom." So this wisdom is going to bring us into the kingdom of heaven, because it starts with the Lord's men. If your delight be then in thrones and scepters, O you kings of the people, honor wisdom, that you may reign forevermore. You see?
To the glory of our golden age, may it shine forever.
So we're going to reign forever. Lord's willing, we are part of the elect.
Let us be glad and rejoice and give honor to him, for the marriage of the Lamb is come, and his wife hath made herself ready. And her was granted that she should be arrayed in fine linen, clean and white. For the fine linen is the righteousness of saints. And he saith unto me, Right, blessed are they which are called unto the marriage supper of the Lamb. And he saith unto me, These are the true sayings of God.
Second, quick sound check. Second, all right. Shalom, shalom. First and foremost, I'd like to give all glory, honor, and praises to Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai, Bahashim, B'chakadash. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone who will teach well. And I say shalom to the hopeful elect and the Achamat that push his word and his truth into sincerity across the four winds in the names of Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shai. I am your beloved brother. I not from the JMS Mississippi camp. I am coming to you with, I brought us a quick lesson going into a breakdown of, we're going to do the whole chapter of Revelation 17. But for this video, we're going to do verses 1 through 5, so we can make sure we, get into it. All right, so without further ado, we're going to go ahead and get started in the precepts. All right, let me get it brought up. All right, throughout for you beloved brothers and you few sincere Akwa that are tuning in out there today. Shalom, shalom. All right. So you're gonna go dive straight into it. All right, it's the book of Revelation, chapter 17, starting at verse 1. All right, and it says, and there came out of the seven angels which had the seven vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. All right, and in this verse here, who is that great whore that's being disgusted? I mean, it's like that's being disgusted. The great whore is disgusting, but it's like the great whore that is being discussed here, and it's in reference to Babylon the Great, i.e., the U.S. of A., i.e., America. Okay, so that is who the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. You know, she if you think about it, you know, you have the U.S. military who has all these different bases everywhere. You know, what's the word I'm looking for? The philosophies or the spirit of America, this westernization is spread all over the world, and the waters are the people. You know, the many waters are the people. How America, i.e., Babylon the Great, this great whore has its influence amongst, you know, all the people of the earth. Okay, let's grab a few precepts. Let's go to the book of Nahum, chapter 3. Points in 4, so we'll just get straight to 4. It says, because of the multitude of the whoredom of the well-favored harlot. Who's that well-favored harlot? You know, and that well-favored harlot is America. You know, if you think about a pimp, you know, a pimp has many whores. You know, in this case, the pimp is the ruling Edomite class. You know, you got your Rockefeller, your Vanderbilts, your have brain fart, I can't remember the rest of them, but you get the point I'm saying. You have those 13 Edomite families who rule this nation, the world is given into their hand right now. They control everything. So all these nations are the whores of these families because they just pimp them out in the world. But America, Babylon the Great, is their well-favored whore. You know, their well-favored harlot. You know, she's decked out more. You always had that pimp always has that one harlot that's, you know, more decked out than the rest of them. She looks a lot better than all the rest of them. Well, that's America. America is more decked out than the rest of these countries and these places on the earth. Okay, but that makes America that more well-favored harlot. Okay, it says the mistress of witchcraft that sells the nations through her whoredom and the families through her witchcraft. Okay, she sells the nations through her whoredom because when these nations go visit each other, they see how they in cahoots, you know, with America. You know, if I'm not mistaken, brother, we were getting into it yesterday at camp. How I think Japan was in bed with America before China. But what made China get in bed with America? They went to Japan. They started to see how it was. So she sold the nations through a whoredom, you know. All right, let's get another one. Let's go to Jeremiah 51 and 13. It's Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 13. Oh, that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness, thy that dwelleth upon many waters, who is America, Babylon the Great, dwellest upon many waters. We physically through the military and also spiritually through the philosophies and the that westernized spirit, the Hellenized spirit that's up on all these countries, man. Okay, abundant in treasure. America goes to these countries and they take, you know, they take all the spoils of these nations. America is full of the spoils of all these other countries. Okay, and it said that thy end is come. Who is this prophecy all about in this? You know, in these times, the death of Babylon the Great. You know, the death of America. You know, also, and to take it there as well, Esau, Edom being brought down, and after 1,000 years, being no more nation. Okay, all right, so let's get back into it. This is verse 2. It says, with whom the kings of the earth has committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with her wine. And who are the kings of the earth? Okay, that's the leaders of all these other nations. Okay, the kings of the earth, they are in arts like it. The kings of the earth are the rulers of all these other nations. Ultimately, those rulers still answer to, these ruling class family. But in this case here, the kings of the earth are the rulers of all these other nations. All right, it says has committed fornication. They have committed spiritual adultery. Spiritual fornication, spiritual adultery, which ultimately goes into the rebellion against Yahweh by Hashem Yahweh Shai. Like I said, and the inhabitants of the earth, have been made drunk with the wine of fornication. The people, going to how America sits up on many waters, pushes a philosophy throughout the earth. America will go, Babylon the Great will go either, they have this thing that they push regime change. If it's not that, then they'll just delete whoever's in charge and put somebody over there. And then again, these inhabitants of their land, i.e. the inhabitants of the earth, they're made drunk with the wine of this fornication. Okay. And when you're talking about being drunk with the wine, that wine is the philosophy, is the mindset, the spirit. Okay, if we look at the picture, let me see if I can bring that up. When that philosophy the philosophies goes into several different things. Give me 1 second. See if I can bring that up. Image. See if we can bring it up here. Here it is. The philosophies go into, you see it right here, where it goes into, right here at the top left. I don't know if you can, I don't know if it's following the cursor, but you have we'll get into this picture more, image more as we get into the breakdown of Revelation chapter 17. Okay, but if it's this case in the top left here, you got philosophies. So that's going into the wine of fornication, the democracy, the religions, idolatry, homosexuality, lies, adultery, covetousness, and murder. And this devil, Esau Edom, is all of that, man. Okay. All right, so let's get back into it. All right, let me grab a quick precept. We're gonna go back to Jeremiah 51. All right, and we're gonna go down to verse 7. It says, Babylon had been a golden cup in the Lord Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken her wine, therefore the nations are mad. And that golden cup goes in there again is it's like the wine is the philosophies, and Babylon is that golden cup is Babylon, and the wine that's in that golden cup is all those philosophies. Okay, and the earth has drunken that cup of America, has drunken those philosophies of America, and i.e. now that it's starting to wear off in this time due to prophecy, and now all these nations, they like, man, they're sick of America. They're sick of this whore, man. So these enchantments are starting to wear off. Esau Edom can't do the shit they used to do. America can't just stumble around the earth and do what they used to do, i.e. we see now what's going on over in the east. Okay, the Lord done lift the skirt up on this whole, man. All right. Let's go to verse 3. Revelation 17:3. It says, "So he carried me away in the spirit, so he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman which said it. So like I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet colored beast full of names, blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns." Okay, and that woman that sitteth upon that beast is America, the whore. Okay, and the scarlet covered beast is a dragon. All right, the red dragon, which we'll get into that more. And it says that the names was full of blasphemy. All right, and when it goes into the 7 heads, the 7 heads are those original founded nations where everything where it was built off of. And here where we can see that going into the 7 Edomite empires. Okay, those 7 heads goes into the 7 Edomite empires. As you can see, the 7 governments of the kingdom ruled by Esau. Okay, that's why I say his name is full of blasphemy. Those 7 heads, the Greeks, the British, Germania Minor, the Spanish, the French, the Romans, Germania, and Germania Major. Okay, those are the 7 Edomite ruling empires, and every time Esau is in charge, one of these nations, is usually in charge, and the rest of them, you have a hierarchy of those nations, and the rest of them support it. I.e., you have America, which is the whore derived upon the beast, and these other nations, they support this whore, man. Okay, and then the 10 toes as well, because it says that. Let me go back to it. It says that having 7 heads and 10 toes. It's like 10 horns, not 10 toes, 10 horns. So like those 10 horns go into the original EU. Okay, and as you can see here, the original EU: Belgium, Denmark, France, Italy, Luxembourg. The Netherlands, Greece, Spain, and Portugal. They was one, but they ended up splitting. All right, England and Ireland, they was one, and they also ended up splitting. And you have West Germany. So those are those 10 horns. Okay, that's why I said the beast with the 7 heads and 10 horns is NATO, man. Okay. All right, let's get back to it. Verse 4, it says the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having the golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of fornication. All right, that woman arrayed in purple. All right, Salakia, let's go back. I forgot to get the precepts for verse 3, Salakia. Let's see. I think that's verse 3 to verse 4, Salakia. Give me 1 second. Here it is. It was verse Revelations 12 and 3. It says, and there appeared another wonder in heaven. Behold, a great red dragon having 7 heads and 10 horns, and having 7 crowns on his head. Again, those 7 heads going into those 7 Edomite empires. Okay, and those 10 horns are again going into the EU. Okay, let's see. This is Revelation 13 and 1. I stood upon the sand of the sea, and I saw a beast rise up out of the sea again, having 7 heads and 10 horns. Upon her horns 10 crowns, and upon his heads names of blasphemy. So like I think that was going into something different, but you get the point on that one. Let's go back to verse 4. It says, and the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of her fornication. All right, that woman, again, is America. It says arrayed in purple, and that color purple. Let me see if it'll give it to me in here. When you look at that color purple, it goes into royalty, wealth, because these Edomites of the world have been in that have been able to enjoy the pleasures of wealth and royalty in this wicked rulership. Okay, 1 second. Let me see if I can pull it up. So when you look that up, what does the color purple symbolize? Okay, let me bring this up real quick. When you look at it here, what does the color purple symbolize? The color purple symbolizes the color. It's like a purple universal represents royalty, luxury, power. Well, that's the point here. Royalty, luxury, and power. So this is whore. These Edomites have been able to get a sense of royalty, through this whore, man. Okay, let's go back to the precepts. All right, let's go back to it. And it says, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls. Because this whore is more decked out than all these other nations. Okay, that's why America is that well-favored harlot. Okay, it says they're having a golden cup in their hand full of abominations and filthiness of fornication. Again, she's been that speaks for itself, because every philosophy that America has goes against Yahweh Shema Shah. It's all abominable. It's all filth. You got man on man. Woman on woman. You got niggas can classify as animals. You have all type of things. Everything that you can think of that goes against Yahweh Shema Shah is 100% okay here, and under this man's rulership. Okay. And we get drugged through, and caught everything else because we preach and Yahweh Shema Shah. We try to live according to the words of Yahweh Shema Shah to the best of our abilities. So like it. Okay. Let me see if I can. I think I got it. We'll go ahead and try to finish this out. So like it. Revelations 18 and 19, it says that, and they cast dust on their heads and cried, weeping and wailing, saying, Alas, alas, the great city, Babylon the Great, wherein were made rich all their ships in the sea by reason of her costliness. For in 1 hour she is made desolate. All right, her costliness is this place, America, the Babylon Great. Again, she's that well-favored harlot. That's why I go to her costliness. Everybody looks up on Babylon the Great, and it looks like this harlot just has everything. Okay, and all these nations, it says, which made rich all they that had ships in the sea, because all these nations send everything over here. Okay, send everything over here to sell, send everything over here to make a profit, i.e. licking the swords, which that goes into another parable. Okay, but you get the point. All right, America is that well-favored harlot. America is that whore that ride the beast. All right, and the beast in this case is NATO, man. Okay, all right, and this is verse 5. Last but not least, it says, and upon her forehead was a name written, mystery. All right, that word mystery has a lot of weight to it, because not everyone knows, or not everyone can attest and agree that America is Babylon the Great. That's why it's a mystery, and that mystery has to be given to us via Yahweh Shema Shah, Bahashim Hakodash, okay? Via the Holy Spirit, man. Okay? It says Babylon, mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlot, because this is the mother of all this whoredom, man. Babylon the Great, i.e. America, i.e. the US of A, is the hub of all the wickedness, all the abominations, all the whoredom, and everything wicked that goes on in this world. Babylon the Great is the hub. Okay? That's why if you ever seen, if anybody out there that has ever had any military experience, you will see that when America goes to the country, there's a reason, all these places get attacked and all that, because they don't want that westernization over there. They know, hey, this is the hub. When Babylon the Great touched down, hey, your nation, your heritage, all that's gone, your culture, all that's gone, man. All that's gonna get replaced with this filthiness, man, with the wine, with this philosophy, man. Okay, and it says the abominations of the earth. So that speaks directly to Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots, the abomination of the earth, i.e. The US of A, i.e. America, man. All right, so that's the point. Ratazar will be back with, the rest of, going into Revelation 17. All right, Ratazar will just work our way on through it, and we'll see what the Lord lead us after that. All right, so praise the Lord for edifying to you. Till again, I say Abba, Kamar Shallah, Yahweh, Bahashim, Yahweh Shah, Bahashim, Chakadash, Barakatam, Shalom.